What's up? Back for another video. I just finished recording the last one, but I'm feeling good. I gotta get some more videos out because it's hard to find time, and now we got time, so we gotta start recording. I took off my sweatshirt, so now it looks like it's a completely different day. So it's movie magic, I guess, you know? But without further ado, I already gave my intro last video. I already gave the reason why I wasn't filming as much and recording and getting these videos out, but let's get to the first story. This one's from Tricky Club 4097. Wow. Met someone at a vinyl shop and we've been texting nonstop, but IDK if I should ask her out yet. 27 male. About 2 weeks ago, I was digging through records at this local spot and this girl comes up and asks if I listen to Japanese city pop. We ended up talking for like an hour about music and she showed me some artists I'd never heard of before, which was honestly amazing. We exchanged Instagrams and have been texting pretty much every day since then. Like good morning texts, sending each other songs, talking about our days, type of things. She even mentioned she wants to visit Japan someday, and I literally have money aside that I want to spend on a Japan trip too, so that's cool to hear. The vibe feels really natural and different from app combos, you know? Here's the thing though, she mentioned she just got out of a relationship like 3 months ago. Nothing crazy or dramatic, but she said it. It was her first serious one. Part of me wants to ask her to grab coffee or check out another record store together, but I'm also worried it's too soon for her. And I don't want to mess up whatever this is about by being pushy. Should I just keep going for a bit longer, or is it weird not to just meeting up again when we were talking this much? I genuinely feel like her company, or I genuinely like her company, and I don't want to come off desperate, but I also feel like we have something worth exploring. So this one's very easy. You should most definitely 100%, 1000% ask her to a date. You guys literally send each other good morning texts. If that's not a great sign that she wants you, I don't know what is. It sounds like she was the one who came up and talked to you first, too. That's such a clear sign that she is into you. So, I mean, what do you have to lose in the end of the day? You should be like, do you want to grab coffee Wednesday at 1 p.m.? And then we can go to a music store or something. Literally just something like that. And that's a guaranteed yes. I guarantee she will say yes to this date that you want to go on, because you guys text every day, like talking about each other's days. It doesn't matter if she got a relationship that early. 3 months ago, that's honestly a long time without being in a relationship. And sounds like she's a pretty normal person. You guys are talking about all this music stuff. Sounds like she loves music. Sounds like she wants to go to Japan. Don't ask her out to Japan because that's very early. You don't want to go to Japan on a first date. Very expensive, too much commitments. I'm no expert, but yeah, maybe when you guys are together for a long time, you guys will go to Japan then. But for right now, don't ask her to Japan, of course, but definitely ask her out to a small date. Get some coffee, get some lunch, like not a huge fancy dinner date or anything, but just a nice, quick date, and get to know her a little bit longer, hang out with her. Seems like you genuinely like her. She likes you too. So there's no reason to not ask her out. And if she says no, then, well, plenty of fish out there in the sea, There's, plenty of other girls at music stores. Plenty of other girls like music. But, yeah, I definitely ask her out, and I hope she says yes. This was 4 hours ago, so we don't know if he actually asked her out, but I hope you're going to ask her out soon. Grow some balls. You only live once at the end of the day, so might as well shoot your shot. What's the worst that's going to happen? So, yeah, shoot your shot, and I guarantee 99% chance that she's going to say yes. Unless she has actually something planned the next day, or that day, but, definitely ask her out, and she's going to say yes eventually. So, let's get to the next story. Alright, second story we got is from Sloth Mike 123. Joined a nerdy dating page, and it's the most depressing thing. FB, I'm going to assume that's Facebook, suggested a nerdy dating page, and I joined it just to see the dynamic. Scrolling through the intro post was really depressing. All the women's posts have 100 to 200 comments. About half the comments are creepy/gross guys, but the others were just average dudes hoping for a chance, but no interaction from the OP. I don't know what OP means, but 9 out of 10 guys' posts are just super average guys, but seem really nice and genuine, but no comments from women, but a few from women, but a few from guys being nice and pumping them up. The outlier, 1 out of 10, was decent looking guys that all pretty much look the same. Thin, stubble, dark hair, jawline, but not much else. Seems like a low personality and a lot of ego. All these guys have 50 to 100 of the thirstiest women commenting, practically begging to message them. I'm just not sure how anyone's supposed to find a partner these days. Most of these guys that are decent can't just catch a break and are not the best looking and are a little boring. Many of the women seem to just be fighting over a small portion of guys that fit specific criteria. Um, yeah, dating in the big 2025, almost the big 2026. That's crazy. 2026, huh? That's crazy. We're getting old, you know? It's not good. It's really not good at all. I hate dating apps. You know, I used it. My friend bought me 2 weeks of Tinder Gold, right when I turned 18, just to see what it was like, and it was fine. But dating apps, everyone's using dating apps, and I don't like it. I don't think dating apps are the way to go. You gotta learn how to cold approach someone. It's so good. It's gonna set you apart, like from so many other people. It doesn't matter how good looking you are. If you have the confidence to walk up to someone and talk to them and ask them out on a date in person, that's gonna set you out way more than the good looking guy on Tinder. Because on dating apps, you only look at looks. You know, you don't look at their personality, their confidence, anything about them. So they could be a 6 out of 10, or let's go an 8 out of 10 in looks, but 1 out of 10 confidence, 2 out of 10 personality, and you don't even know because the only thing you see is the looks and maybe the bio, which doesn't really explain much of them and how they act. But if you go up and talk to them in person, you're able to actually talk to them and have a conversation with them and see if you like their personality and see other things about them. So you're gonna have to learn how to go up and talk to someone, cold approach a girl out in public. I don't know how old you are, or you know if you go to school or anything like that, but literally just walk around town, walk around where I don't know the popular places where you're from. Find a girl who looks somewhat your age, walk up and just say, "Excuse me, I just saw you over there and I thought you were really pretty. It would have really bothered me if I didn't walk up and say hi." That's all I have to say. And she's like, "Oh, thank you, thank you." And then, you know, if she's normal, she's gonna say thank you. And you're gonna be like, "Well, what's your name?" And you know, name, you know, where you're from, like what you do for work, all that nonsense. Just have a normal conversation with someone. And once you do that, you can ask for her Instagram. And then you go out and then you have a fun time because, you know, you're really confident 'cause you know how to walk to talk to someone. And it's just gonna be so much easier than these dating apps. You know, that's what I did. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy walking up and talking to someone. I tried for 8 months until I found someone. 8 months of walking up and talking to people, getting rejected. And yeah, I'm not a good looking guy. All right. You know, I hype myself up to be a good looking guy, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm no model. Well, some girl actually called me model to her once. That was very awesome. But, you know, I'm not the greatest looking guy. You know, I definitely have a lot to improve looks wise. You know, looking at this angle right now, it's definitely not pretty looking at myself, but I think I'm above average. You know, I'm not chopped. Hopefully, I don't know. According to the comments, maybe, but no one's left a single comment in these videos. But you know, if you walk up and talk to someone, it's gonna make you a 5 out of 10 to like a 7 out of 10 just from that confidence alone of walking up and talking to someone. And they're gonna remember it. You know, they're gonna remember the guy who walked up and talked to them as a guy who had the confidence to do it. Not, you know, they're not gonna remember the guy who swiped right on you and you guys had like one or two texts to each other. She's not gonna remember that. She's gonna remember the guy who has the confidence to walk up and talk to someone. So that is the number one way to meet someone right now. No one's doing it. That's why you gotta start doing it. You know, you gotta be unique. You gotta put yourself out there. The dating apps aren't working, especially from this nerd dating app. You know, nerds typically aren't the best looking, even though I like to consider myself a nerd because I just got all A's this semester. Bang. But anyways, let's get to the next story. Alright, a final one for this video. This one's from both Warthog3386. Unpopular opinion. Most men are totally okay with waiting to have sex, but they're scared of being friend zoned, so they feel pressured to make moves on dates. I have a theory that a lot of men, including myself, feel pressure to drive things in a sexual direction while dating, or else we'll wake up with it, "I think you're a great guy, but I'm just not feeling a text message." I like when I'm going out on a second date, I'm thinking I better kiss her goodbye by the end of this date, or else we'll be entering friend zone territory. Nothing is more anxiety inducing than being in the middle of a third date without having pecked yet. I've never heard of without having. Oh, I mean kiss. I think it does. I'm not so much that I'm some weird horn dog. I use that same term. It's funny. It's more so I feel like I have to make moves or else her interest will plummet over time. Thoughts? I like this. I like this take. This is a good one. I agree. Most people think, oh, I'm gonna be friend zoned if I don't make moves after the first or second date. They're gonna just think that we're friends. But if you make your intentions clear, like ask them out on a date. Girls aren't stupid. They know what dates are. If you say, I want to take you out on a date, and you make your intentions clear that you are dating to get into a relationship with someone and not just trying to, go to Pound Town, then I think you can go for a few more dates without, going to Pound Town. But it just honestly depends on the person, because if she's got a lot of guys she's talking to right now, then she can go on multiple different dates, and the first guy, doesn't really do anything. She just talks, and they just get to know each other. Second guy, they kiss after the first date, and the third guy, they kiss and go to home base. If you know what I mean, I don't feel like explaining, but she's most likely gonna go on a second date with the guy that she went all the way with, just based off of statistics, pretty much. There is probably some statistical outliers that, might pick the first or second guy, but most likely it's going to be the third guy that they went all the way, they did all the whole 9 yards with. But, if she's talking to three guys and going on three different dates and kissing and going to Pound Town, then that's most likely a whore. Because that's a lot of guys she's talking to. I'm all for having multiple people you're talking to, but once you go out on a date with someone, like once or twice, you should kind of stop texting other guys or girls, vice versa. But I really like this because most guys feel pressured because they see on social media of girls friend zoning guys, and it just really sucks to see. And it's like, oh well, if I don't go to home base this date, then she might friend zone me and she might reject me because she thinks I'm boring. But if you find the right person, because in my opinion, I don't think you should be going to home base for a while. I feel like you should see if you're in the relationship just for, if you're not in the relationship just for sex, and you wait a little while and you see how it turns out. Because, if you guys just are in the relationship only because of sex, that's just a friends with benefit, It's not really love, it's not really intimacy. Well, it is intimacy, but it's just lust, pretty much. If you need to first say you love each other, and you actually need to form a connection before you start going to home base with someone. So, and yeah, I definitely agree that people feel pressured, but I feel like you shouldn't. And if you wait, then you're definitely gonna find the right person. Because if you don't go to Pound Town, like after the first date, you might lose a few people because they're like, oh, well, this was just a boring date. We didn't do anything. We didn't all close, stayed on. Like, this is boring, and I want something else. That's not really someone that you should think of dating, because you date someone for who they are as a person, not just because of sex. That's just a bad relationship if you base off a relationship just from sex. It's like stuff like that. So I feel like you should wait, but most people definitely feel that pressure of not wanting to wait, and if they feel like they wait, then they're gonna lose it. Then they're gonna lose the girl or the guy because they don't do it, and they feel pressure to do it too early, and they don't feel comfortable with doing it. So definitely a great take. That's just my take on it. But I really like both Warthog 3386's take on this. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section if you're still watching this far. But anyways, that's going to be the end of the video. Go to bed if it's past 10 p.m. Remember to drink water. Water. I got a new sticker. My water bottle. Is that cool? I think it's cool. But yeah, eat healthy, go to the gym, stretch. Think of 3 things you're grateful for. A lot of things to be grateful for right now. But anyways, that is going to be the end of the video. I will see you soon, and bye-bye.